handsome man.
That's pretty good.
It's like Master Thespian with the one eye. I just realized that. Doesn't he kind of lazy eye and one eye's kind of open? Master Thespian.
Hello.
Very handsome man. Now the world's ugliest man. The happiest man. The saddest man.
Oh.
This has been Superfly, and this has been John Lovitz.
A quizzical man. Okay, you're past. Curious.
Why is he doing what we're telling him?
I don't know. I like it though.
Someone who has to poo.
Oh, that's your regular face.
I'm just trying to make John happy.
Someone who bought the worst covering of a couch in history. Oh, that's your regular face because it's right behind you.
That belongs in a Native American casino.
Yeah. Where do you live, in a teepee?
Welcome to Superfly.
Welcome to Superfly. I want to hear about Dana's gig this weekend, and then we'll get to you in about 40 minutes. Go ahead, Dana.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell about my adventure at McDonald's.
Okay.
Driving today. I go in the bathroom. The urinal is running just all over the floor. And it won't stop running. Then I go through the drive-through, and there's a guy where you pay, and he doesn't move. There's two cars, and a guy where you pay doesn't move for 25 minutes. And it's behind us. No one's honking. So I go, finally, I get to go up there, and the woman says, "We don't have receipts. We have no receipts." So that guy was fighting for upset. He couldn't get a receipt for his Big Mac. What kind of accountant at the end of the year says, "I've got this bill from McDonald's in Gilroy, and I've got no goddamn receipt. You want to get audited, bitch?" And that's your best friend, is your accountant.
You red flag, motherfucker.
Yes.
Right. I have a McDonald's story. When you said the guy didn't move, there was a guy. I was late. I was getting breakfast, and the guy in front of me was for 10 minutes. He's ordering. I got so frustrated. I yelled. I go, "Pick a number, for God's sake! It's McDonald's." And the guy spazzes out. And I'm like, he has Tourette's. So now he goes to pay. And so now I just want to see him do it again. So I scream. I go, "Hurry up!" And he goes, just goes nuts. I'm laughing my head off. I drive up. I said to the guy, I go, "What's wrong with that guy? What do you have? Special needs?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Oh, how rude.
Did you hold him like a baby after that? Give him a kiss on the cheek and say, "Daddy."
The guy
nursed him.
You know what the guy said in the car behind you? Does that guy have special needs?
No, he had Tourette's. It was very funny.
I have a McDonald's story.
Everyone has one. Great. Okay, go, David.
So I'm in line at McDonald's driving through, and there's a kind of not a hobo, but whatever. Is John looking at himself?
John's admiring himself.
In the Zoom? What a loser.
Yeah, he turned his chin and he smiled.
Focus on my fake story. So
let's hear your fake McDonald's story.
Man, I'm just trying to get in the game with you guys. So I wait, and there's a guy sleeping under where you order. Fine, So I say, I go quarter pounder with cheese. I go hot apple pie, Diet Coke, and then I hear he stands up and leans in and goes, "And some fries." And he jumps back, and I go, "No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That." And then how many times does that work in a day where then I go up to get my food and I'm going to be like, "That was you. That was you had a filet of fish. Oh, wait, hey, who are you? What? Wait a second." But it worked. I got his fries. They put him in. And then when he came to the window, I gave him his fries. But what a good scam. Does that all day.
And that guy was Dana?
No, it was Rob Schneider.
What? That's not true.
Dana, you eat like a health nut. What were you doing eating at McDonald's? I'm just shocked you were there.
Well, because I was on the road and I was in a hurry, and my car kept saying, "Pull over, you're driving erratic." So I just needed some quick carbohydrates. I got an Egg McMuffin.
Your car said that.
Well, yeah. Hey, what'd you think about pulling over? The funny thing about I played a casino this past weekend. And I went to get room service before the show. I was doing 2 shows, and they go, "Oh, I'm going to have to call the front desk." And so they call the front desk, and then 2 people called back on the phone and said, "I'm sorry, you can't order room service." And I go, I didn't want to say, well, I'm headlining the casino.
Fucking Dan Garney. You get
so I was the only person in the hotel. It was 1,000 people that could not order room service. But I'm not bitter.
They say why?
I think it's because when I got there, I pulled out, I said card for incidentals. I had 2 friends with me. Mm-hmm. And she waved me off. No. Everything's on the house. That's why I think
you're taking care of.
They said we have food vouchers, and they would find my friend in the casino. They chased him down in the casino. You're with Dana Carvey? Have you picked up your vouchers?
Yeah. Where's your voucher?
You got to have your voucher.
Shows go, Dana.
If they stand up at the end, is that a good thing or?
I want to hear more about the vouchers.
Oh, here's your vouchers. No, I mean, I think it's great to have vouchers. I mean, but anyway.
I know. I eat, John. Luckily, you don't have your earplugs in. So
2 shows, John.
2, John.
No, I can hear you both.
I know we can't hear you. Is the problem?
Yeah, you can.
Why doesn't he have the earphones in? That's what normal people have.
Because I can hear without them.
Sound like you're in an aquarium.
Why do I need them? I can hear them without them.
It'll make the sound better for us. All right. Are you going to admire? John is admiring him.
I like when he preens and primps.
For the people who are listening to this podcast, John cannot stop admiring himself. Actually, do you have ring lights? You do look pretty good. Do you have some better light?
No, I lost some weight, so I think I look better.
You look nice.
You do. You look good.
I'm going to go back to McDonald's. I have one more thing while John is printing.
Okay.
Wait, David, just quickly. So, John, so you don't have headphones. That's the answer?
Or earbuds.
Your earbuds?
No, I can hear you.
It's not that. It's we're getting an echo from. We have to keep all this because people need to know what we deal with.
People had to know. John does not want to put in his earbuds because he's admiring himself. He's lost a few pounds. He looks great.
Yeah.
And I can't.
I don't like the new John. Yeah. It's like guys that have a bright window behind them. And they go, I can see you fine. You go, we can't see you.
If you put him in, John, then your sound won't drop out when we talk. Put it in.
Quit acting so put out by this. He's like, oh.
This is a great episode.
I like this episode because this is the real ta-da, ba, ba, ba-da.
This silly
bitch. Right there. This bitch.
This little bitch was playing bitch games with us. Look at those. Look at the.
If it's Joe Rogan, he's like, I have 5 headphones I'll wear.
I'm a human headphone, Mr. Rogan.
I'll do whatever I'm told. You don't like this couch? I'll cut it up with a knife.
John, can you hear me, Princess Leia?
Look at his face.
Princess Leia, can you hear me?
Oh my God!
This is Harrison Ford.
Now I look like Princess Leia from Star Wars.
That's what I just said.
Damn. Please, let's keep all this. It just shows what I have to deal with.
First comes headphones.
You remind me of that other character, Chewbacca.
David's having his period. He's awfully moody.
Who, me?
What?
John, you don't have to be quiet. You can hear through the headphones and you're doing fine, right? I'm worried about you.
Yes.
Okay. Just the fact that you were not talking for 3 seconds, I thought something was wrong. Okay, so I don't like first of all, when I go to McDonald's, I say, do you have the filet of, I say, wait, hang on. When I go to McDonald's, I go, what's the filet of fish of the day? I go, yesterday, I think it was a branzino. It's a big laugh.
Branzino.
Yeah. And then other thing is, which reminded me at a restaurant last night, I like fish. And guys, tell me if I'm way off. I like fish, but
I like big fish and I cannot lie.
Mm-hmm. I smell my glass. And if anything smells fishy, it makes me sick. So I do like fish in quotes, but even if... Can you wait? for the end or anything?
Let me get the
Sorry.
punchline out.
Guy took a joke ruining class. It's like, when do I cough? At the punchline? Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. So this is a real story. So if I eat fish and it's fishy, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it smells, you go, this smells fishy, even though it's fish. You fucking assholes. I hate you both. John.
David, don't order branzino. It's made in a lab. It's like an artificial, smelly fucking freak of a fish. Never order branzino.
Why are we focusing on this part of the joke? Everything's gone sideways.
Look, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I kept thinking for the last minute while you're going for your punchline. Branzino, don't ever order branzino. It's made in a lab. Lauren told me that. It's made in a lab.
It's for rookies. Okay, so that's that bit. And maybe we should do some headlines, and let's talk about some headlines because then we'll have something to talk about.
This is
I have one question.
Okay.
I think you guys said this is they can hear it, but they can't see it. This podcast?
No, they can.
No, you can see
it on
this one.
YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why your bits are playing.
So that's why. Yeah, you look great, John.
I'll continue.
This
Did you
runner
get a
works.
little help? Did you get a little help?
Okay, we're gonna just show
I helped
things that
you.
are happening in the news. John,
Oh.
feel free to cough or tell a joke. So this
Okay,
is
for people driving, this is a picture of Justin Timberlake. Sorry, David, go.
my only comment. He did get an inordinate amount of press for this. I will say he looks great, and he almost looks too good, and now I'm getting mad about it. Because every blurry headshot I see in the paper, it looks like it was taken through a shower curtain. He has a fucking ring light. This is like if Kim K got pulled over. Remember when she went to the DMV? She took 27 practice pictures with a ring light to get her license. This has vibes of that, which I'm not hating. I would do it.
He looks good. It was they were piling on too much. He was going 5 miles an hour. No one got hurt. It feels like I read, because I'm all up on the tabloids, that they told him beforehand, don't drive. The police said, hey, maybe you should. But
listen,
that's rumors.
And then he gets this cover of Rolling Stone headshot taken by Mark Seliger. And his tour went up. His sales went up. So it's always...
He looks great. He doesn't look like some kind of homeless alcoholic. He looks great.
John, whenever you're ready, jump in.
Well, I read he said he had one martini and that was it. And so my question is, if that's true, then why did he refuse the breathalyzer test? But that being said, I've met him many times. He's a very nice guy.
I knew someone would throw that in. I knew someone would say he's a great guy.
He's extremely
He's very nice.
he's
of course,
talented.
we all like him.
He's a super nice guy. I take him at his word. Yeah, I met him at the 40th and the 30th.
That's a lot.
I met him at the 20th.
The guy can sing and dance, and he's very funny on SNL too.
I met him in the 90s when he was
Did
dating
you?
Britney Spears. I came off an elevator at a hotel, and he and Britney Spears were standing in the hallway talking.
Spears.
I went, oh,
That's a
Britney
great
Spears.
story. That's a terrific story, John. They were in the hallway talking. David,
Yeah.
what do you got?
I got off the elevator, and there they were. And I
I
went,
know that's an incredible story.
Save it for Ellen. Now listen. What about? Oh, let's show that next one. That's the party. Greg, do you have that one? That's the party. I want to show this thing. Look at Jerry. Jerry, are you guys on your way to the dentist? I don't want to keep you. Look at Jerry's tubes.
John takes good care. John Lovitz from the
shit. We
90s?
can start with this one. Okay. Now
What do you think
this is Debbie Gibson's 18th birthday. It was a rager. Okay, go back.
oh, I think it was at Ed DeBevick's.
Okay, that's
I
is
hope
that
it was.
Will Wheaton?
Oh,
On the
maybe.
And
And
Alyssa Milano.
Milano. Okay, next one.
I'm not
Is
sure.
that-
Will
We shouldn't have
That-
started with puppets.
that
that's
is-
from Baywatch.
Yeah, her name is Baywatch, and they hired her on the
That's,
show.
is that Nicole Eggert? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, keep on. Next one.
That's
Joe Piscopo.
William Zapka. No,
and
that's
Brandy.
No, that's Joe Biden.
No, that's Brian Robbins. Right?
Okay.
And okay.
Who's the? Okay.
That's the girl from Can't Buy Me Love, I think.
No way.
Remember that show, that movie with Patrick, whatever?
1988.
Get ready for this mic dropper coming up.
Are you ready for this?
Ah!
Okay.
Hey!
Wow. Yeah.
By the way, look at your lovely wife, Paula. You don't have to show this one if you don't want, but lovely Paula and Dana.
She's adorable, but it's a bit of an odd picture of her. But yeah,
look at the comments on the side. Someone goes, when I saw the caption, I said, "No way, Lovett's got the invite." Look at the other one. Says the most unexpected Lovett.
Yeah, because this website, it shows all these events
from the 90s,
and I'm like at all of them, and it's the big joke. That's why.
Now, by the way, in fairness, I
used to go out a lot. They were fun. It was really fun back then.
Look at this. It says, I miss celebrities with normal teeth because everyone has veneers now.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, go to the next one. Let's see who else there.
Oh, that's Tammy Knopfler.
Shannon Doherty.
Who the fuck is Tammy?
I made it up.
It's Tammy Faye Baker.
It's Tammy Knopfler, not Faye Baker. So that's who?
Go ahead,
Doherty.
John.
Who is
Shannon
it?
Doherty.
Heather? Oh, Shannon Doherty. Okay, yep.
Our boy. Anthony Michael Hall.
John, you were on the show with him. Is that Anthony Michael Hall, John?
No, it doesn't look like him. Maybe it is. He looks different.
I'm not sure. I think it is.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
That's it.
Okay.
There's
now that's
Debbie Gibson. And
she had the hoop earrings and the kind of Boy George hat on.
By the way, there's no one could have stopped me from wearing that hat.
Ellen DeGeneres.
That's
from Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just kidding.
Look at on the right. And the guy says, the most unexpected Lovett's appearance. I apologize for underestimating his attendance rate.
That's pretty funny.
And
John Lovitz can be found anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. 6 floors.
No, I said this website, they show every event from, and apparently I was at like almost every single one.
Listen, I was a premiere whore too. I went to premieres more than I went to parties, but I'd go to like True Lies. I'd go to frickin' Matrix, whatever. It was fun. Right?
Well, if you're on SNL, how many shows did you do on SNL? 130 or something, David?
Oh, me? Probably 6 years, 120.
Yeah, so every show, as people know, has an all-night party with giant celebrities dropping in.
Really?
Well, I remember Sting
you
just
were invited,
watching
weren't
you? Oh, yeah.
John, remember you were on the show. It was from 85 to 90. You had you had hit characters. Remember the Master Thespian?
Yes.
But also sometimes the host would say, hey, come to my premiere if you guys are in LA next week. And so they did the show. So you go, okay, we'll go to your premiere. Right?
Well, Willie Nelson invited us to Texas. This was my first season to play golf.
Oh,
that was really nice.
John?
I didn't get that invite.
Mm-hmm.
He was very nice. He's got a memory. I saw him at this event. He goes, John, last time I saw you was at Saturday Night Live. I was about to say it. I go, oh, yeah, you remember. Then I saw him 20 years later. He goes, last time I saw you was at that event 20 years ago. He remembered that.
That shows you that cannabis does not affect your memory.
Right.
There, it's
he remembers everything.
Yeah.
All right, show another one. This might be the coach one. Do you have that one? Oh, this is funny. Oh, we'll go back to the original girl. Do you know who the Hawk Tui girl is, Dana?
No.
Okay, it's a girl that's kind of blowing up right now because they interview these people when they're drunk outside of a bar, and people always say dumb things. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Smart.
And then the YouTuber gets all the views and all the attention. But this
And the question was,
Heather is popping up. The question was, which they'll do. This is the original. What do you do to keep your man?
no, it's something. What do you do to satisfy him in bed?
Satisfy your man in bed. The first girl says, "Oh, I'm enough for," and then the other girl just jumps in and says this.
One move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
Okay, so
She's surfaced, by the way.
look at Dana's horrified. What'd you say, Heather?
She is surfaced with merch.
Are you sure she surfaced with merch?
I saw a picture of her signing a merch hat.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have sent it in. Yeah, well, she so she's on every most famous person in the world right now. Of course, we want her to come on here and talk about her. I think she's a teacher because look at there's probably 1 million follow-up memes to this. Here's just one of them.
Get my daughter in there! Is my daughter in there? No!
Because everyone keeps playing that video. Okay.
Anything could seem funny out of context. That's Sean Penn, name of the movie, John?
Oh my God.
With the Clint Eastwood movie, I think. It was called Is My Daughter in There? That was the title of the movie.
No, wasn't that the one where Tim Robbins is a little slow?
Sleepers or
yeah.
No. That one where he won an Oscar? What was that one called?
Oh, a river runs through it.
River runs through it.
No, that's Robert Redford up in Montana.
Right. Something with the river.
Mystic River.
Mystic River.
Mystic River.
Mr. Rogers. Oh, I got it wrong.
No, the working title was "Is That My Daughter in There?"
The working title was Hawk Tui Part 3.
I made Sean laugh. I ran into him. I go, Sean, what? You're such a nice guy. Then I'm watching this movie. All of a sudden, you're like stabbing Tim Robbins. I go, what is wrong with you?
Spoiler.
He was laughing.
I like when people go, don't tell. Now I can't watch it.
It was as if I couldn't differentiate between a movie and real life.
This might be her. She's young, but she's a teacher.
On the right or the left?
She immediately got fired.
Because of that Hawk Tui thing?
Yeah, here she is at a Burt Kreischer show. No, yeah, because the Hawk Tui thing.
That's Jack Black.
Oh, that does look like Jack Black.
Jack has a nice big beard right now.
Oh, yeah, we got to get Jack Black on.
Yeah.
I like
David,
Jack Black. Yeah.
Can you talk about the Bruce Lee on your wall? Is that on a skateboard?
Funny story. Not really funny story. That was a present. And the one over there is my brother has a company called Jack Spade. Obviously, they used to have Kate Spade. So Jack Spade was the men's line, and he made just a handful of Jack Spade skateboards, sent me one. And then, because I'm a fucking skater boy. And then I got that Bruce Lee one from one of our friends, and it's great. So I put it up. It's kind of cool, but I don't use them. It's more artsy. Look at John just staring. He asks a question, then he falls asleep.
I'm listening. I'm listening and not interrupting.
How was John Lovitz? He was a great listener.
John,
Here, I'll wake John up with here's a Japanese man in an earthquake.
Oh boy. I guess it's okay now. Oh my gosh.
No, John.
I like John's not interrupting. I don't know what to do.
I can't win.
All right, here's another one. So look at in this universe, Kevin in Home Alone. Remember Trump was in it as a cameo?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the cameo if Biden was in it.
Excuse me, where's the lobby? Thanks.
No.
No, Heather's going, no. That's not right.
I think it was too loud. It was fucking grosser than I remember.
Well, there's rumors that he does have a flatulence problem. That Macron's wife had to literally back off. She almost passed out. He was
She
in
goes like
front
this.
of her. He was giving a speech. Yeah, because of
Flatulence. They said he crapped his pants.
Yeah.
I know. He went to Europe to make peace. Instead, he shit his pants and passed out.
He made poops.
No. Come on. It was poo the
Remember when
Bed Bath
George
and Beyond.
Bush threw up on the Japanese?
Oh, the guy in Japanese guy. Oh.
Could I tell a short thing about that? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, tell a short thing.
There was an article in the New York Times. Maureen Dowd said they're running Joe too hard. So part of Joe being tired, just to defend him a little bit, he's 82. They fly him to Europe. Then they fly him back to do an event in New York. Then they fly him to
that
Italy.
Is hard.
Then these are all just in a few day period. Then they fly him. He gasses up in Newark. Gasses up. Then he flies to an event. That's where Obama pulled him off the stage. So you got to slow down. Ronald Reagan, a summit in Japan, took a week to go there. Nancy insisted so he'd be rested. They flew to California. They went to the ranch. They rode horses. Hawaii, Guam. They surfed. They relaxed. He showed up rested. George Bush Sr. went over there flying too hard, so then he threw up. So they got to slow Joe down. Don't whip a guy like that around the globe. Jet lag is a mofo.
Can
John?
he sleep on the plane? They have a bed.
You could sleep on the plane.
I'm sleep during the story.
It was more informational. Slow Joe down.
I agree.
They packed him in ice and gave him 2 B12 shots this week. The rest for the debates, which was last night.
They pack him in ice in the back, like of a ship, like of a tuna boat. They put Joe in the back of a plane.
Let me ask
Like
you
the
guys: do
perfect
you
storm.
think that the candidates will have earpieces in their ears telling them what to say?
You mean from the debate that happened last night?
Yeah, the big debate last night.
Do you think they had
last night?
Well,
John,
this comes out Friday. We can edit this.
Last night.
Oh,
yeah. You know.
So, John, let's start again. You mean the debate from last night?
Yeah, that one.
You know, I have to say though,
that's the ticket.
This reminds me of when they say,
"Isn't that special?"
Go ahead, Dave.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll always stay quiet for a catchphrase. Okay, so the Biden gets to pick. Is it true that he gets to pick? It reminds me of a Jake Paul fight where you go, okay, so Jake Paul fight Tyson. He gets to pick the judges, makes the rules. It's always harder. But listen, I just want to see a fair fight. I just want to see an actual fight. Yeah. I just want to see an actual fair fist fight.
From last night's debate?
Yeah. Oh yeah, from the debate I already saw.
I saw a great. The most generic way we could say is like it was something else. Trump was
a real.
Crazy.
That was shit went down.
Biden was okay, and
a lot of surprises.
Pretty interesting.
They came out swinging.
They both were talking. They both said a lot of things.
They said very little with a lot of words.
Mm-hmm.
They both had some misses, had some hits.
Jealous.
What if like it turned out that they both just like lost bowel control, but we haven't seen it, so we don't know.
And they're like, "Why aren't they?"
We're doing everything we can, and we're working. We're doing everything. We know what we're doing it, and we're going to do more of it.
I'm sorry. Did both candidates have the Branzino from McDonald's?
Yeah, because come on, you got to do this better, sir. I could go to bed, sir. I told you I'm punchy. I'm so sorry. I apologize, John.
Dana drove 6 hours. Okay, show one more story, then we'll do advice and get John out of here. This counts as a show. Oh, this is so
Wait,
funny.
I don't want to leave.
Let's do advice, I guess. Is this an advice? Okay, here's a love advice. John, you can start. Well, we've never seen these.
Okay.
I'll start.
Hey, Dana and David. Brooks Lawrence here from Washington, D.C. Big fan. Been a huge fan for a long time now, since the SNL days. I'm 37 years old, and I still haven't found love. And I was hoping to maybe get some advice from both of you, but specifically David.
Oh.
And I made a little video for
Video
you.
on top of the video?
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
So a montage of David's.
See, it's been hard for me to find love. At 37 years old, I didn't think it would be possible. But looking at David throughout his career of having hot chicks on his arm, I think maybe it's possible that a schmuck like me can find love. And I'd really love to hear from David to see if that might be possible. So, thank you for your consideration, and please, for the love of God, help me find love.
Montage of David's love interest.
This
is my favorite part.
Oh, there's David with the whole gang. Chris Rock.
And Dana!
Yeah, there we are.
Well,
can you help me find love?
Why am I his favorite? He's got a Sandler shirt on, for starters. That's fine.
It was cleverly done. I assumed it was a joke because first thing I would say is don't have a T-shirt that says Adam Sandler if you want to be cool with.
If you're over 11, no, that's fine. No, no.
Well, let's hear from John on this. You're both
John,
single.
you're the guy.
Well, he wants to hear from David.
I know, but you're our guest, so we have to struggle through your answer. Yeah.
You have any thoughts?
Well, my advice would be ask Spade. You're right. He gets lots of beautiful women in his life.
No, this guy seems like a good dude. It is hard out there. I don't have any great advice. I would say the more normal you are, it helps. I'm not that normal, but for a comedian, I'm not that crazy. For a comedian, for a normal person, I'm crazy. But for this world, you guys are pretty level-headed. That's why I'd like to hang out with you. But if you're pretty normal with someone over time, no one likes me right away. It takes a long time. So if you are nice to these girls, it's a tough world with Instagram and everyone's bragging and you got to be 6'5" in finance and make $500K a year. It's so tough out there. So it's an uphill battle. I will say that. If you can be famous, do it. If you can't, then it's going to be tough. I remember until I was known, it was pure crickets. Nothing, no one, nobody cared. So I guess that's it. John, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would go to, I don't know what city he's in, but I would go to like Nashville, South, and you'll meet someone there.
Nice Southern girls.
Because they're not all narcissistic.
Nearest Ed DeBellis.
No, they're about what can I do for you? Oh. Not what can you do for me? They're not looking in the mirror and taking photos of themselves. That's a narcissist. You got to forget those girls.
Oh.
The South, Chicago, the Midwest, they're the nicest people ever.
Head south. Mm-hmm. I have one word for him. Thailand. Thailand.
That's the best advice.
Go to
it's
Thailand.
The shortest and best.
Game over.
Okay. Spudmeister and the Carvemeister. My wife, who is a Hawk Tui sexy fitness instructor. I've been married to for 30 fantastic years. Does he underline that? But she keeps playing, if you like Pina Colada song over and over, should I be worried? Just kidding. What's your dating advice to spice up our relationship? How long have we been together? 30 years.
30 years, and to spice it up.
Love your super fan, Rockstar Brewski. Dana, you take this one.
Spice up your relationship.
30 years, yeah.
I'm thinking what I'd like to share or not
Maybe
share.
Some paprika? That's a spice. LOL.
Meet at a bar and pretend they're different people.
Heather is saying meet at a bar and pretend you're different people.
Ooh.
And then try to hit on her and act like you're someone else.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Pretend you're different people even though you've been married for 30 years?
John, it's pretend.
I would say pretend like you're still single in the sense of how you take care of yourself. Pretend that you're single. No, not that part, but try to, take care of yourself, and just as if you're still try to be dating, basically. He says,
Keep
what's your
the
dating
marketing
advice?
campaign up because you can't just let yourself fall apart. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just do the best you can. I don't know.
No, you don't.
Finally, that's a good one. John, what's yours? Get rich?
I don't even understand the question.
Jesus, got to walk this guy through
the one on the bottom here.
Is that another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move
Hello,
on.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a fan of David since I was young, and my dad forced my brother and I to watch Tommy Boy basically once a week. But I'm 26 and have been single for 3 years now. I've tried every dating app possible and zero luck. Should I start dating losers, comedians, or both? Kanananda Harabitsi.
They're the same. Is that the question? It's all dating? Should I try dating loser comedians? Is
Meaning
that a guy?
He wants to date you, one of you two. Didn't know I was going to be on the show.
I'll say this. I'll change it. John, is it harder to date comedians?
Well, most of the comedians I know are they're very smart, they're very funny, and they all have problems with their father, and they're angry. So it's tough.
And they're angry?
A lot of them when they're younger.
I'll agree.
But I don't know. I think it's tough meeting somebody on an app because you're not meeting them. You're just looking at a photo, and then you're reading what they say, and you're interpreting what they wrote in your own way. So none of it's accurate. So I think it's better to meet people in person. Go to places that you figure out what you like to do in your spare time, and go to those places, and you'll meet other people that are there because they enjoy it. And they'll be there.
Right. That's
a
good
meet
idea.
them in person.
Meeting in a club is hard. You can't really talk. I see people.
Well, if you like going to clubs, you then go there. But online, I think it's. I think the people online, they're not looking for relationships. They're looking to have sex.
Right, and if you can meet in person, it's a lot different.
David? You're on those apps. Am I right?
No, but thank you. No, I say if you meet people in person, it's very different than just photos and talking online. So if meet people in person, a lot of people want to meet people in real life. That's very hard to do these days. Here's one. Here's an app called Fly Me Out. It's a dating app where you can apply for trips, and
they'll take you. Okay.
Dudes will say, hey, I'm going to Miami for a week. We want 4 girls to come. And they say, we want to go. It's an app. Do you understand this, John? This is what's happened to the world.
I get it.
Apart at the seams. So
my advice for anyway,
it's girls looking for free trips, and they have nothing to do with the guy. Yeah, It's a great app.
It's a great app.
Fly them out.
They should do a social network movie.
Thanks for the trip and the hotel. Bye.
Sayonara, sucker.
Felicia. Or they might say this, bye-bye.
Oh.
Or they might say,
everybody,
goodbye.
Everyone has a goodbye catchphrase. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye.
Here's John everywhere. Hey, fly me out.
Here, I have a friend, anyway, a friend who dates a lot of girls, and they'll go, can you take me to the mall? And then they'll want him to buy him, he doesn't even know him, buy a $5,000 purse. To me, that's, as they say in Yiddish, chutzpah, balls plus nerve, and they expect it. You don't even know
prostitution. Yeah, I know. It's hard because it feels like there's a new world where people are like, if it's not a serious relationship, they're like, okay, what sort of business deal is going on here?
I've had that happen to me once, and it was when I was on Saturday Night Live, and I met Dana Carvey for the first time, and he goes, "Do you want to write a sketch, John?" Or I said to him, "Do you want to write a sketch?" He goes, "Yeah, but you need to buy me a purse, and then I'll write a sketch with you." And we had to go to
she said, "Let me buy a
Saks Fifth Avenue," and I had to buy him like this $5,000 purse, and then we wrote the sketch.
I thought the joke was over. Sorry, I interrupted.
Was the joke over? Was I done talking? I think I think it's David who talks over people now.
I agree. I've been doing it a lot on this one.
And David's phoning it in.
I said to you, do you want to write a sketch? And you said, well, can you buy me some diapers? Okay. So I went to Rite Aid and got some Depends, and you said, let's write. All right, here we go.
That's all true.
John, do you have any final thoughts, like a summary of your time here?
Well, I just appreciate you having me on your show. As usual, everyone says there always people come up. If you listen to Dana and David's podcast, right, they're always talking about you. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we're friends.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I can contribute.
Do you have any stand-up dates in July?
Yeah, where you
Do you have any stand-up dates, John, coming up?
No, not for a while. Not till like October and November, and I got to get some more.
I want to talk to what's going on.
August 1st.
August 1st?
Excuse me, David. August 1st, I'll be doing my musical comedy show at the jazz club Vibrato.
Yes. And where
That's in
is
LA.
that?
I saw this show. It's great.
You have a full a 4 or 5 piece band
in Beverly Glen in Los Angeles. Yeah, I have a 4-piece band, and the piano, the arranger is Randy Waldman, who he's worked with Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson. He produces George Benson. Anyway, it's a great band. Shut up, David.
And John Lovitz has probably the.
When I sing and tell jokes.
Can you give us just sing "Fly Me to the Moon"? Just one line so people know.
Fly me to the moon.
Mm. Oh,
so John is quite a singer.
What was I singing during golf? Rags to Riches. For some reason, it was stuck in my head. Well, there's John. He's vibrato.
Yeah, Vibrato.
Herb Albert from the Tijuana Brass. He and his daughter even own the club. It's a great club. Great
Danny,
food.
you should take Paula. It's good. It's fun time.
No,
it's so fun.
Comps. No comps.
Oh, no comps. You like Madonna.
John Lovitz, August 1st at Vibratos in.
It only
Beverly
holds
Glen.
138 people. You better get your tickets.
It will sell out. It sold out last time.
Yeah.
And it sold out the time before that. They keep bringing me back. They like the show. What does that
Do you get it? Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be a good show.
It is a good show.
No, I think it could be a really good show.
No, it doesn't. Could be. It is.
All
could
right.
be.
Thanks for coming on, John.
I'm like a cat when they have the camera.
But I have a question for you too.
Oh boy.
I saw this video of this girl, and she goes, "I'm a furry," and then she goes, "Here's how I talk to my friends. So if I'm happy, I'm like meow. If I'm angry, I go meow. If I'm anyway, do you think that human beings that identify as cats are actually cats? I don't, but do you?
I ran into someone who said my pronouns are they, them, and I said my pronouns are what's up, motherfucker.
Oh.
Well, those are my pronouns. What's up, motherfucker?
John's are poo poo pee pee.
No.
John's pronouns are did you fart?
Sir and Lord. Sir Lord.
Mine are fur and fur.
Hey, sound effecty.
I just know growing up, someone said, "What are your pronouns?" I'd be, "Huh?
Huh?
What are your?" I go, "What?
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about."
Mm-hmm.
So what do you call yourself? John.
Listen, our
transphobic much?
Our viewers.
No, I just don't. I don't. It's like what? I never thought about it.
We
for
had 3 left.
Second.
Now there's 0.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear the end of that story sometime,
I'm all
John.
for it. You apparently mock people who think they're a dog or a cat. I met a woman
school
once,
with a litter box.
I had a date with a woman once, and she said she was a cat, and she opened her shirt, and she had 6 nipples.
And I said, "Do you want to get spaded?"
But sure, if you will. One John Lovitz on a date with a woman he finds very attractive. He will soon find out that she's a pussy cat.
This is an imitation my friend would always do. This is a cat's butthole. Meow.
Was he a comedian?
How old are you?
How old was he? 2?
We've got to have a raspberry count. Anyone making this sound? We're probably double ditches. Ditches? Oh, and bitches. Okay. Well, John Lovitz has been our guest today.
The debate was great last night. We'll say it again.
Debate was great.
Carvey doesn't identify as a cat. He identifies as a pussy.
John, for those listening, John is beside himself with joy. He's going in for the close-up with the big eyes and a huge grin. Huge grin.
I'm doing my cat in the camera again. The Ring camera.
David Spade has a disease. It's called smallpox.
Let's end on that one. That's not bad.
That's a pretty good one, John. I don't know how you think of this stuff. All right.
Thanks, buddy. This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Superfly is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Heather Santoro, and Greg Holtzman. Hope you liked it. Ooh.
Our guest today
is Chelsea Handler.
The one of a kind, Chelsea Handler. Mm-hmm. Chelsea Handler.
Friend of the show. I've known her for a while. I used to see her out. Been to her house. We had a friend's night over there once. She's very, well, I would say quite wealthy. Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption.
I would say so. She started, potentially she started this sort of genre, Chelsea, lately on E! With like 5 comedians that are not especially famous at that moment, and they do become famous from the show, and she leads it. So that she's kind of I'm going to call her a trailblazer.
Whoa, okay.
She's a pistol. She says what's on her mind. She doesn't hold back.
Very true. She's a traveling comedian also. She does a lot of things, but she sells out some big venues, and when she goes on the road, I think I saw her at Caesar's Palace years back, and does a good job. Also has a book out. I'll have what she's having. She also has a special out.
The feeling.
Yeah. Oh, also, I gave her an idea for her next special, a title. We talk about how to name specials. We talk about her dating life. She's pretty easy about answering anything.
She is so single. Doesn't want to get married, but she does. We will talk about her current boyfriend, who she described as a mountain man who lives in the mountains, and she goes and visits her mountain man.
Right.
That was an interesting chunk.
Possible boyfriend. I'm not sure how she describes it, but a guy she does hang out with. And this is a world of people hang out with people.
Yeah.
It's a world
and this
of
is what
we're
you're going to hear us hanging out with Chelsea. And we,
well, not in that way, but yeah.
Our overtalk rate was pretty decent, 3.4 per 10 seconds of chatter.
Per milliliter. Yeah, we did pretty good on that. And I think you'll enjoy it. Let's get her going.
Oh my God, penises! Hi, my 2 penis-faced buddies.
I don't know what's
I saw Chelsea recently, Dana, at a little backyard get-together.
Oh.
Remember I came over here on the couch. I said hi.
Was it at Ted's house?
It was at Gervitz's, our manager.
Oh, yes. That was a really fun party. Apparently, I left that party too early. I heard it went all night long and that you got on stage and sang.
No, you know what? That was the idea. It was going to be people would sing. But by the way, I got there at 7 because everyone was a little older. So I got there at 7 going, oh, no one's going to be there yet. And then people are leaving. I go, wait, guys, I'm the old guy, but I wasn't the oldest guy there for once. And then Dana, I don't think you went to that one, but after about 9, it was kind of slowing down. And then I goes, are they going to sing? And they're like, no, they did a birthday cake. And then they go, and then his daughter sang. Remember that, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Lovely song. And then I said, I guess that's it. And they go, no, Eddie's not going to sing. And I go, oh, I thought we were all going to sing. Okay. So I leave. And then about 2 hours later, Sandler's like, you're up. And I'm like, I'm up. I'm in bed. Are we doing this?
And did you go back?
No, he's too far away. It was an hour.
Right, exactly. There was a lull in that party after about 2 hours. And that's when a group of people left. I didn't know that we were supposed to stay and things were going to, there was going to be an act 2. So we may as well have left together, David. Like we've done so many nights of our lives.
So many times. And I liked it because the party was fun, but it felt like a long party and it felt like there's a cake. And we weren't really bailing out. It was just like, I thought they were trying to say scoot, because there's probably 30 people left.
Also, I feel like Gesundheit, if that was a sneeze, Dana. I also feel like LA is so lame. You know what I mean? Like no one is out till 9. I mean, that's what time everyone goes to bed. Every party ends earlier. It's just it's almost like it's so hard to even go out because the scene is kind of just so subdued. So many people are sober. It's just not what it used to be. I'm going to just throw that out there.
Just throw that out there to talk about.
Explain to me as a fellow human being why anybody in their right mind would go to a Hollywood party.
No.
Isn't it the most hideous? I mean, I like 4 people at your house for dinner. I'm not going to book it. That would be nice. 5, one conversation's happening, but the small talk derby. What's up with Chelsea? What's going on? Oh yeah. God, I don't know how you guys deal with it.
Well, when it's hours of that and you keep walking to the same people all night, you don't know what to say the 8th time you see them. And
yeah. And it's also like you have to question why you're at parties. Like, what's your motivation? Why am I here? Like, am I promoting anything? Like, why am I going to an Oscar party? I'm not nominated for an Oscar. Why am I at the party? Like, I'm like, no, it's you got to show up once in a while to like refresh people's memories. But I find LA to be, I wish I want to have that place in New York. That's going to be my goal. I think that's a little bit, it's too unhealthy. Like I'm becoming almost elderly in this lifestyle. Whenever I'm here, which isn't frequently, I come back home and like last night I was supposed to go over for friends for dinner, which the kind of event you're describing or dinner you're describing, Dana, which is actually sounded really nice. But even getting in my car and I am in a compromised situation because I just had some surgery. So, it's not fun. I can't drink. I can't really do anything. But I was going to get in my car and go over there. And I was like, I don't think so. I would rather just sit here and watch mindless television and sleep as much as I can. I think I overheard one of you lesbians saying that you slept for 11 hours last night.
I did. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Did you masturbate to get yourself to sleep?
No, but I woke up and I had completed the task and it was like, what the fuck was I dreaming?
Yeah, you can do it in your sleep.
Oh, yeah. So who started that? What I meant was the movement in the stand-up world with women, females, whatever you prefer. And it seems to me that Joan Rivers made a turn where she really was more incendiary than the 60s Joan. And then there's this continuum of female stand-ups just saying what they want. And I put you in the, you're like the leader kind of in a way. There's younger ones coming back. I don't know. I mean, when did stand-up turn for women where squirting jokes and stuff like that could come out? Who
just anything goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like a rush it's like a wave, if you will, no pun intended, a wave of squirters talking about squirting and women, the more, listen, we're all talking about the same stuff. When you break down stand-up comedy, you're talking about your personal life, your relationships, your relationship to drugs and alcohol. It's all the same pitter patter of ideas. And it's just like, how does your execution vary? So I guess if it's, the more women that are up talking about this, the more accepted it becomes by nature. And there are more female comics than there have ever been. But I don't know when it started. I mean, Joan certainly paved the way for all of us. I can say that. I didn't really realize that until she was dead. Like I was like, no, I paved the way for myself. I had an arrogance about my own success. Like Joan Rivers wasn't somebody I had looked up to. And then, when I did my homework and grew up a little bit, I realized how what she went through, and like, going to the comedy clubs, like women didn't even get on stage without being like, they would get on stage as characters, like housekeepers or, maids or like, just like
Phyllis Diller was kind of a character.
Yeah, right. And Joan was like being herself and dressing up and going to these gross comedy clubs. I mean, we all know how gross comedy clubs are. They are.
Yeah.
That's where all disease begins. And that's where the disease in my shoulder probably began. And it's just presenting now. But yeah, she was a trailblazer, of course, which is an annoying word for some reason. I find that annoying. I don't like when people call me a trailblazer either, because I'm not out there with, blazing trails. But I think that it's just good to see women succeed. It's good to see women being taken seriously. And it's like the idea that women aren't funny is just so dumb. And I know both of you know that. But like, for so many men out there who really think that comedy is just a men's game. It's been so insulting for so long that you just kind of turn off that noise. Like, when I was doing, for instance, my first talk show, Chelsea Lately, I didn't pay attention to any of that because I didn't go home at night thinking, what was it like to be the only woman in late night? Those were just comparisons that everybody else made. And I feel like if you spend too much time thinking about that aspect of it, it's taking away from your creative outlet anyway. You know what I mean? You should be creating, you should be doing your thing and not looking around to see what your competition is doing. Because I certainly didn't look at David Letterman and think I was in competition with him. You know what I mean? I wasn't. I was on the E! Network, Right. So that's what I think I have to say about that.
Making a buzz on the E! Network, even though he's on network, but you're helping E! get wider and more looked at, which is interesting. Also, when I go to the Comedy Store, you don't even blink. Every other comic is a female. I mean, everywhere you go, it's not even like, oh, you're not one of the comedians. How it used to be. You'd be like, wait, there's a female comic on the show tonight. It would be like Rita Rudner or something when Paula Poundstone. And but now there's so many. So it's great. I mean, listen, it's all if you got some game. And they don't mention there's also bad male comedians. So it's not like
lots of them.
Guy ones are good and the females are bad. It's like, if you're good, you're good. And so you see a nice mix. I've seen some on Instagram that are funny. They just pop in my feed. So,
when I was growing up, it was like the female comedian was referred to as they wouldn't say David Letterman, the guy. And that was more prevalent. This woman comedian and woman. I see less of that more than just comedian. And one thing's kind of cool about you is you produced a show for Whitney, right? I mean, you do a lot of producing of things and for other people. So
yeah, I did at that time. Well, yeah. Whitney's show didn't really last too long, but we tried. And then we produced a show for Ross Matthews. He wasn't really a production powerhouse at the time I was there. So it was really hard to get. We did After Lately. David, you were on that show with us, which was like a satire of Chelsea Lately, where I was just like a really exaggerated version of, the cunt that I am. But we did so much like, where was I going with this? We did so much
producing Whitney.
Oh yeah. It was really hard to get anything done at E! with them being behind anything. Like they were just trying to assuage me because we had a hit show. So they'd be like, oh, you want to produce this? Great, go ahead. And then they'd be like, oh, it's not getting the numbers or whatever. But it was hard to get anything going on E! I mean, the Kardashians in my show were like, and I don't know, Saving Sunset or whatever it's selling Sunset. Saving Sunset.
I think that was later. You were really, you paved the way for shitty flip shows.
Yeah. He really took a hit after I left and the Kardashians left. Like, and actually, I know this is probably coming out later, but I'm about to host the Critics' Choice Awards, which brings me back to E! this next Friday night, which is a full circle. I'm going back to my birthplace.
I love that show. When I first saw that show with you and the comedian stuff, it was one of the first like lo-fi shows because cable was still coming up and stuff. And so there are shows that do that now, but usually it was the band and the so it was very cool how lo-fi it was. And casual.
Thank you.
Really
it was very casual.
If you're just funny, you don't need much. You need a camera And then people are like, oh, you don't need all this other noise, because some of those shows, there's only just this much comedy and there's little pieces, but those are harder what you're doing, because it's just like, turn the cameras on, let's just talk, and we'll find things to talk about. And it just blew up. And that's why I agree. When you left, it was a big hit on there.
But also, like it was so much fun because you guys are from SNL, so you know about like ensemble. But what was so much fun about that show was that the casualness of it allowed us to like just book my friends on the round table. So many comics that I didn't even know that I discovered on my own show whose careers have blown up, like, Fortune Feimster or Joe Coy, like Kevin Hart used to be on the round table, like all these people. So and it was so unique in the fact that, like, at the time anyway, because everyone's ripped off that show now too. I mean, David, you've even ripped it off, but like and I don't believe ideas can be ripped off, so I don't care anyway. But like putting comics together when, you become a comedian essentially to stand on a stage with a microphone alone, like it's the most probably narcissistic you can be. And so to have comics, to have 4 comedians on a round table at the same time, sharing space and actually having to listen to each other and riff off of each other was a joy, and also kind of unexpected because you don't see comedians interacting that much.
No, Carson would, in the early days, he'd have people stay out there. So you might see Bob Hope and Don Rickles get in a fight or something, but that went away, and it was one guest, one out, and then highly, highly organized with an outline of what you're supposed to get to in the commercial breaks. And so since your thing was, I hate this, one of my least favorite words was just authentic, that when the comedians were riffing, you knew it was happening real time. There wasn't a rehearsal. It's not a setup. It's just ping pong, which made it really pop. So I see why it went on. It was 7 years.
You can also do, when I was doing David Lately, which was not a ripoff. When I was doing Davey Lately, the part of the fun, the hosting is kind of hard, but if you're dishing off, you're not doing all the lifting anymore. So you give someone a subject, and now you're just tagging what they say on their jokes, and then someone else jumps in. Now you're like, oh shit, if you get good people in there that can just bullshit like that, and then people just like to see like they're at dinner and you're just bullshitting basically.
Yeah, and that's what's, you hang out with comics all the time. Like the best things that happen are never being filmed. So you're like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could film these conversations, which is essentially what that show became.
Right. The green room, basically, it was
right.
Bring it out front. So well, I guess we should mention before we get going away is you have a book, right? Coming out.
I have a book. A book is called I'll Have What She's Having. That comes out February 25th on my 50th birthday.
Holy
and then my
shit.
special is called The Feeling, and that comes out on Netflix on March 25th, which is a month after my birthday. So I don't know when this airs, but you can just piece it together however you like.
We'll do it.
But
all right, well,
so The Feeling is Netflix. So because I remember I came to see, is it possible I came to see you at Caesar's Palace once years and years and years ago? Did you ever play Caesar's?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I used to play Caesar's Palace. Now I do a residency at Vegas where I perform once a month, which is how much time I'm willing to spend at Vegas. I perform once a month at the Cosmopolitan at the Chelsea Theater. So I perform inside myself. But I was at Caesar's many years ago.
Years. Because I think it was during maybe your show, and I think Brad Wallach, those guys were there. I think.
How many specials have you done? Which one is this?
I don't know. Actually, 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Probably 5. So
how did this one feel? Because I think it's very hard. I did a couple. They sucked because when you know you have one, there was a technical issue and you have one shot. And you've kind of worked on this stuff in the little clubs, and now you're in a barn with 1,400 seats and 3 balconies. So how did this one feel? Like your experience of the other ones, what you want to land is like a feeling, basically, of how you're authentically your best self on stage, right? Not shooting a special, in a sense.
No, I think you do treat it like you're shooting a special, but you're supposed to you're supposed to shoot 2 in a row. David.
I would need a nap. I'm too weak and old to do 2 in a row.
Well, I mean, I guess so, because that's how you don't screw it up. If you don't get what you want in the first set, then you know to get it in the second set. So somebody should have definitely told you that.
No, it's all
or
right.
you can do two shows in 2 nights, more expensive, but you can do.
Yes, right. Of course, you can do that.
Then topic wise or material wise, is there something that is a little surprising for your fans? This is just me asking off the top of my head. Like, are you stretching the envelope further in terms of honesty because it's sort of your brand of like?
Oh, I'm always honest. I'm always,
but are you even more honest?
Well, yeah. I mean, these are some personal stories. I have a really great Andrew Cuomo story in this special, a personal Andrew Cuomo story, because I was trying to get penetrated by him during the pandemic.
I remember that trending that you were going to try to fuck Andrew Cuomo.
I remember. I was hoping that was going to be a live stream.
I know. I wanted to also live stream it, and I wanted to do it for my country because he just felt so like we had leadership at a time where we were so dehydrated for it. But I have a really good story in there about that. I have a great George W. Bush story going to Kenny Bunkport compound, like on 40 milligrams of THC and having to interact with the president on a pickleball court, the former president.
Right.
So there's a little, there's a lot of sharing. The feeling is actually a reference to something I did as a child to like at the jungle gym at school to get a certain feeling around my Pikachu area that a lot of 9-year-old girls did. And so that's a reference to that. I take you from my youth into my adulthood and kind of telegraph the fact that I've always been this way. But yes, the special felt great. You know, I'm at a point where I've done this for so long. I'm very capable and confident in what I'm doing. I don't have, I'm not worried, you know, about it. I'm like, you get to a certain point, I think, in your career, as I hopefully the two of you can also attest, you know what you're still here because you got yourself this far. So like, you know what you're doing. You don't have to be in your head about it anymore. At a certain point, you realize that's just such a wasted energy and that you're successful because of you. So just keep doing you.
No, I agree. I have a self-critical side of my brain, and if I do stand up in a club, one night from the other can be completely different. If I get into a character or some idea, I like it to be kind of riffing, parse material and riffing.
Right.
But very hard with like 19 cameras. I don't know why they need that many. And then I get locked into doing my outline, like, okay, I've got to get to this next bit. But if I was live, I go, I'm going to go over here and do Anthony Fauci for 10 minutes. So
you can't do that during a special. Riffing, it would be very difficult to capture because you don't know.
Yeah, right. Unless you did 10 nights, unless you did a lo-fi crew and did 10 nights. But
or crowd work. That's tough on the special.
Well, one thing I was just curious your take on this, hot take. That this era of Netflix special and comedians playing stadiums and arenas and multiple nights at Madison Square Garden. I don't know exactly when it started, but it's a phenomena. And I don't know if one of our great female comics, sorry to put it in that box, has made that leap to arenas or Madison Square Garden, or has someone done that?
Amy. Well, I've played Madison Square Garden, but not I think I did the theater at Madison Square Garden. I've definitely done Radio City for multiple nights. Amy Schumer played Madison Garden, I believe.
There's 20,000, 18,000. Yeah.
That's a big one. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, Amy did arenas. I did an arena tour, you know, at some point in my career. I don't do arenas now. I do like usually 3,000 to 4,000 seaters, but like, I mean, I think it's going to happen. You know, there's so many people coming up. Taylor Tomlinson, you know, she sells tons of tickets. Otsko. I mean, there's a ton. So yeah, I think it's also a choice. You know, some comics don't want to move to that level. Like there's a level of intimacy. I remember dating Joe Coy, and Joe Coy does arenas. Yeah. And I would go and do guest sets at his shows, and I'd be like, this is too many people. Like, how can you? I have so many facial expressions and like subtleties. How can that be captured in such a big stadium or arena? And I remember getting off stage being like, easily. So like, you kind of have this attitude like, I got to keep it intimate. But then when you're exposed to that kind of audience, you're like, whoa, this is fucking awesome.
If they lock in, it's okay. Yeah, you need screens. I would say.
There's always large screens.
Okay, that works. Yeah,
a lot of my jokes are very small. They're not even jokes. Actually, it's not funny. None of my stuff is funny. And so it's harder to play any room.
That is difficult for you, David, as a comedian, to not have funny material and or be funny yourself. It's a deficit. You do so well with all that, those problems of not being funny and not having funny material.
Sometimes I do, actually not on my own, but when I play the bigger rooms with Adam or something, same thing. It's harder because you see guys like in the hallways where it's like at a concert where you see those guys. There's guys selling beer over here. There's always someone talking. There's always people drifting off. Not everyone's ever focused at once. But if they're locked into you, like if it's your crowd, I always say Nate Bargatze, his crowd, he plays big places, and they're just waiting for like throwaway jokes, setup jokes. They're laughing at setups and they're just like so intently listening. I go, that's the dream. Just get people like waiting for every fucking thing you say instead of the big swings. You're like, yabba dabba doo. You got to really sometimes to get everybody at once, you go bigger. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't think you do now, David. I don't think you do.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
So you're a busy human being.
Entrepreneur. I like the word entrepreneur, even though I have no business. No business.
We have a correction.
I have 5 books now.
This
new
book.
Books do really well.
Why should people go buy this book? I'll do a Larry King.
Great question.
You know what? If you're into me and you're into my stories and you're into my humor, go buy the book. If you're not, skip it. Like, this is my 7th book. And my 5th or 4th stand-up special to be determined. We still haven't figured that out. And I don't know. I like to hustle. You know what I mean? I like to do my own thing, and I don't really like direction from people. So you are
an entrepreneur. You're in charge of your career. You're not someone for hire. You do the hiring.
Right. Like I don't like to be. I have been hired for jobs, but historically, I work best when I'm my own boss. So I do my podcast, I do my specials, I do my books, I do my TV stuff. But I try not to have a long-term position where anyone is giving me notes on anything.
I would say the only time I've really not enjoyed show business is when I was working with people with different sensibilities and they had power over me.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling.
Yes.
They're offering, I just want some advice for a sec. Yeah. Like they're asking me, can I write a book? Just that you don't have to answer this in long form, but what's your advice? Someone writing a book. I mean, did you talk into a tape recorder? Did you have a writer's assistant? Do you just start throwing stuff at the wall, or how do you do it?
Didn't you have a book, Dana? I think I have your book. Don't you?
None, I don't think.
No, I didn't.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of your book, David.
My book would be too dark. I mean, no one would believe it is the problem, because I don't have that image, but
I think it's pretty. I mean, listen, I think as long as you're honest, for me, I just think honesty is a commodity. There's a lack of it. People are a little bit scared of honesty and like conflict and uncomfortable things. So I like to kind of go ahead, head first into that stuff. And that works for me. And it's like, whatever your point of view is, I think anyone can write a fucking book, especially like in our industry, and everybody does. So that should be your first, barometer that you can do it. And your stories, the reason why they're yours is because they're not believable. Like everyone's stories you could say that about. So I would say, I don't use a writer's assistant. When I write my books, I do it all by myself and I just start writing. I sit down at a computer. Yeah, I type everything on a computer. And then I have an editor look at it. And then when it's like shaped and it's in some sort of form, I'll start sharing it with people. But usually I don't like too much feedback. Like I have like 3 or 4 people whose opinions I respect. And then based on that, I'll be like, okay, like I'll go to them for the cover or the title or, like my editor named this book, I'll have what she's having. I was like, I'm not naming a book. I'll have what she's having about myself. That's so stupid. And she's like, no, that's how you feel after reading the book. I'm telling you, you want what you're having. And I was like, okay. And then I had to think about it because usually I was like, that's a little, but then I was like, yeah, you're right. I want people. That's what I want to inject people with. It's like a little bit of optimism and in sad, dark times.
What about when Harry met Sally, where she says, I'll have what she's having? Was there any conversation of maybe not referring to a famous romantic comedy?
That's part of the famous.
No, that's part of the reference.
That's part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you have to learn about books. It's kind of like, we have a lot to learn, Deva.
Yeah, we're that tight. We go by one name, Deva. But thank you. The only thing I'd be interested in for you is like you're very honest, but then you'll get to a chapter or a point or a story where you're gonna hurt somebody maybe, and you like them or you don't like them. How do you navigate that? Or you just do you just navigate that a little bit? It's a judgment call. Should I bury this person at the party where they were drunk or keep it in? Stuff like that.
Well, you have to legally shroud people's identity unless they're a public figure. So like if I had my story about Andrew Cuomo, which happens to be in my stand-up special and in my book, there's a crossover. It's two kind of different, like there's way more room for detail and everything in the book, but he's a public figure. So I tell like one version of that story in the book, and it's the same version, but different storytelling styles for stand-up, for books. But like for him, I don't have to ask permission because everything I'm telling is true. For a friend of mine that I'm writing about, who who isn't a public figure, that I'm saying something embarrassing or bad about, like I have to shroud her identity so that no one will read it and recognize who you're talking about. So sometimes it's like I'll make up a character. I'll make a guy, a girl, or make you make them a different age, a different part of the world they live in, and blah, 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 just to kind of shroud their identity. But that's what you have to do when you write books also.
I've gotten all I need today. Thank you.
I have a question.
This is your motivational talk for you guys this morning, for both of you, Deva.
I have a question about your, you don't like bosses at work, but do you like, when you date someone, do you like to be bossed around?
A boss in the bedroom? I mean, I like being sexually bossed around. I mean, no one's really going to boss me around because that's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? I don't have time for that. But I do like sexually when somebody kind of tosses me around and tells me to shut up, or like pushes my head down, like playful sex. I like that.
Into the wall.
Did Joe Coy do that?
Probably when I asked him to. You got to kind of tell guys, luckily these days, that you want that. And that you want to get so yeah, I'm sure Joe Coy was a little bit, trying to throw me around. I'm sure.
Well, also
did you call him Joe Coy?
You seem like you go, hey, Joe Coy.
During sex all the time. I would go, oh my God, Joe Coy, Joe Coy. Oh my God, Joe Coy, are you in? What's happening?
I've never heard anyone just call him Joe. I think it's always Joe Coy.
I didn't know that he didn't know how to spell Joe Coy. I thought Joe Coy, I thought Jokoy was like his birth name. His name is like actually Madonna. Joe, and then Coy is a made up name. So, and then he combined Joe Coy. So I don't know.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was actually difficult when I was writing the book, because there's a chapter I talk about my relationship with Joe Coy, and I'm a real big on spelling and grammar. Like I find it to be a turn on when also people pay attention to spelling and grammar.
Sure.
And so he spells his name Jokoy, and I had to spell it Joe and then Koy and a space.
No.
I did. I couldn't spell it that way that he wants people to spell it, just out of respect for myself.
It's not an actual name in the English language. J-O. I associate it with a female.
Well, that's right. Women who are named Joe, it's J-O, and he's spelling his name like a woman. So I had to respect him because I know he doesn't identify as a woman. So I wanted to spell his name correctly. Just by chance, he might see it and learn how to spell his own name.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Coy it's whimsical a little bit. I don't know. Joe, Joe's like a Joe guy. Joe Coy's kind of artistic.
Joe Coy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it just because it's a female name. Like I would change. Maybe he didn't know that.
Joe from Little Women, you're talking about?
Yeah. There's not that many J-Os out there.
Like who's the better stand-up on their best night? You or Joe Coy?
Well, Joe's a great stand-up. I would never say that I'm a better. He's great. I mean, he is very good at what he does. So
it would help if you said you were better.
I would never say that about any comic. I don't need to say that.
He's powerful, definitely. He's physical. He does a lot of voices of other.
Yes.
people
Well,
around
you're
the
different
world.
comics. She'll say that. That's
Yeah, just
actually good.
different.
Yes, completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be like comparing an apple to a pineapple.
To a
Thank
typewriter.
you.
Yeah.
To a typewriter. to a Dyson. It would like be comparing a clean air. What is this called? An air doctor. We all have to get air doctors, right? After the fires. It would be like comparing an apple to an air doctor.
I think
It would be like comparing a pretzel to the lunar module.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
David,
It
you're
would
up.
be like, I don't have any good ones of that. But I was saying that maybe Chelsea.
The chemistry between the two of you is palpable. And I think the chemistry between the three of us is very intriguing as well.
So palpable is good?
Palpable is, something you can almost, you can feel it and you can touch it almost.
When you date a guy, do
you.
you feel like you're a little intimidating or guys scared to ask you out, do you think?
Yeah, I think men are very disturbed by me. Yes. I think that they
Disturbed is not what I said.
I think they find me off-putting, and some men really love me, and that's nice. But I think as men in general, straight guys above a certain age are a little bit put off by me. I'm not trying to be intimidating or to turn people off. I just have that essence about myself.
Well,
and I
it
can't
doesn't
really
seem like you're out trying to turn them on either. You're not like thirstily going after guys. You're just
When's
doing
the
your own
last time
thing.
you had sex?
Just a few weeks ago. I have a mountain lover. I have a mountain man that I have sex with in my mountain house in Whistler, Canada, where I ski. So right now I'm in LA, and usually in the wintertime I have sex with a mountain man.
And does the mountain man have a big burly beard and really husky? What is it?
A lot of pubes. What are you getting at?
Yeah.
He has a beard. It's not burly like what you're envisioning, but he has a beard.
Yeah.
He definitely looks like he's from the mountain. You know what I mean?
Is it Bert Kreischer?
It is not Bert Kreischer. No. He has never been on top of me, inside of me. I don't think he's been on top of anyone except for his own wife. So that's probably for the best.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
We're going to spin that sweet.
Well, you have a mountain man in a cabin. You've got a best-selling book about to happen.
Dial it in.
You got a special. I mean, what don't you have right now?
A baby. I don't have a baby, thank God. So there's that,
Okay.
I think about all the things that I don't have that I'm grateful that I don't have, like a husband. I never wanted to be married. I just find that idea. I can't believe you've never gotten married, David. Did you get married one time?
I don't think so.
Good for you, for making that decision. Dana, what about you? Have you
It's
been married?
hard to make that decision, to be honest.
I was just
you look weird.
Born to be married. I've been married for 42 years.
Oh, wow. Congrats on that. That's nice.
I guess so.
That's why Dana and I have all this sexual tension between us.
I just had a really weird childhood, and I just I would get the walls would close in on me over time if I was just alone too much, So
right.
If when you've had a great boyfriend and you're not married to him, and you're watching TV and you're having fun and you have your separate career in life, that's fun, right? Because you get to share stuff. It's fun, right? You don't have to get married, though. Marriage is
no.
Yeah.
No, I'm with David. I mean, David and I probably have some similar dating habits. I like just to have an open field. And even if I am dating someone, it's very clear, this is not, this is nice and everything, but there's not going to be any sort of long-term commitment made ever. And that's not the way I roll.
I don't think I've ever had that conversation.
That's great.
I mean, it's harder for guys to have that conversation.
Like Bill Maher
guys that look like me.
Bill Maher always says to me, everyone wants me to get married. I go, no one wants you to get married. You don't have to
Nobody
get
cares.
We don't. Married people don't think that you've all got to be married. So,
especially Bill Maher. Who's worried about Bill Maher getting married? Who? No one. No one cares.
He says. Friends
yeah, exactly.
I don't
Dude,
know.
I go to Chelsea at things just to go laugh because she's always going to say something snipey and funny about somebody. It's fucking always funny. You're always good to. I think I've even been to your house. I don't know if it's that house.
No, this is a new house. You know whose house I fucking bought? RFK. RFK Jr.'s house is the house. He and Cheryl Hines. So I bought this house. I didn't know that they owned the house when I bought it, which would have been a huge.
Take out the weight room.
Why do you? I mean, I've had an infection ever since I moved into this house, and I believe it's from him.
He's supposed to be a health guy, and you got
he's
staph
the
infection
worst.
from his.
Look at this bruise. It's from my IV. I have to have a daily intravenous. Yeah, like
I thought that was from a rough up session with Mountain Man.
With Joe Coy.
I'm on
with Joe Coy
right now. Yeah.
Are you? Congratulations. Right. Me too.
I did a benefit for the cardiovascular whatever, and I think Ryan Seacrest was on it, but it was a horrible environment. And I went out there and it was pulling a tractor and I bombed and I came outside and I think you might have been smoking a cigarette. I don't even know if you smoke, but you seem like incredibly cool and confident. And you sort of went, how many of these do you do? Like you basically, in my mind, you were saying to me, why would you do this? You know? And I had the disease to please and say yes. And so that's how I remember you. And I thought you were very cool.
Oh, well, that's cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, Chelsea. Part of her attraction is she's obviously very pretty, but she's very like kind of a tough chick that everyone feels like they have to win over because she's not easily like.
We're referring to you now, Chelsea.
Yeah,
she doesn't suffer.
I thought she hung up.
She doesn't suffer fools. I would not say.
You got to throw something at her that's decent because she's going to see
but
right.
There's a hurt little girl in there somewhere and a vulnerable person behind that Dennis
that's
Miller
what I'm looking
exterior. There's a gooey, sentimental, cries.
A real softy.
I think everyone has.
By the way, I like that she's texting during this. Anyway, we're giving all these compliments, and you're like,
I'm just texting. I'm texting the police.
You're going. Can we wrap this up?
So
okay, I have two questions.
Is going to be on the podcast. Okay,
I have to say, here's two names for your next specials. Ready?
Okay.
One is More Honester. That's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad. I like that actually. More honester.
Because you're always honest, but you have another special. You're
I've got one.
Okay.
I've got the balls.
Okay.
Okay. And here's one more.
So those are two suggestions.
Yeah,
and one of them I like.
I don't have a baby, thank God.
That's right.
It's not a bad one because people are like, oh, I want to hear what that shit's all about. You can never.
I feel like I've said that so many times that I like More Honester, though. That's a good one. I'm actually going to put that in my notes section, David.
2 words. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quick.
2 words, 3 syllables.
Mine was intentionally. I was going for the worst title ever. So his is actually good. I've been thinking of. How about just Chelsea with an exclamation point?
How about? She's already done that.
Oh, she's already done that.
I've done it. Everything is named eponymously.
She spun that name.
I've used that name up. I need a new fucking name.
You know what's funny? Whitney and Chelsea, like, there's a lot of the female comics, you know them by one name. You don't know me by Dave. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Everyone knows you by Spade. Everyone goes by. Right. You guys go by last names. Well, some of the girls do too.
Guys go by last. Yeah, it's true. Sandler, Rock, Spade. We even call each other that.
Yeah, you do. That's right.
Weird, yeah.
Speaking of Hollywood parties, are you going to Guy O'Siri's house tomorrow night, David?
Oh, I'm not because I have a fucking casino gig.
Oh dear.
Well, I would love it. That's fun. I would like to see you there.
I know. I was just going to see if you wanted to go with me on my my plus one, but I can't believe, or as you're, if you were going, but
well, those are fun because he never says who's going, and I never ask. I'll just go and see what's going on. But I'm shooting this independent right now film, and this is my first day off in a while. And I definitely wanted to do this with you because it's been hard to sort of organize. But then tomorrow I have to go do a show I had booked before I did this. So I am going to miss it. I would like to do that. It's a fun night.
Well, I hope you have a great time at your casino gig. What city is that in?
No one knows. It's
exactly.
You go and
casinos are pretty tricky.
They're fun though. And when you get there, they're not bad.
Is it with Nikki?
With Nikki Glazer? No.
Mm-hmm.
No, we do a Vegas thing, sort of like Chelsea sometimes, and those are fun too. At least Vegas, you can stay up late, Chelsea.
Yeah, I like to gamble. I like to play with like lots of money and gamble. I do my show. Usually, I have a bunch of friends or family or whomever. Like they come and they get a block of rooms. We hook them up. They come out, fly out with me, and then we gamble. And I love gambling. I love blackjack. I love supplying everyone with money to gamble for people who don't have money to throw around. And I always start with a certain number and I always leave and I always walk out with more money. Like I am so lucky with gambling and I have made that casino, I believe, luckier.
What do you play? Blackjack? What are you playing?
Yeah, Miracle Ear. I just fucking said it. Blackjack.
I know. Well, I have a fever and I'm on antibiotics.
I'm also on antibiotics with a fever. Just FYI. Okay, so stop your complaining.
I apologize.
So
I'm perfectly
you're on
healthy.
antibiotics?
Yeah, intravenous. Look at this, you guys. I have a PICC line in my
Holy
arm.
shit.
I have like a massive infection.
Fucking Amy Winehouse. Look at
I know. It's embarrassing. I'm like falling apart at the seams. But I mean, I'll be okay. Just like you'll be okay, Dana Carvey. Once you get
Carvey, the whole name.
Listen, Ms. Handler.
I have a question.
Will be okay, Ms. Handler.
Dana's the toughest one.
Chelsea Manhandler. That's the special.
That's what George Bush called me when we met at his Kenny Bunkboard. He kept calling me Ms. Handler, like to really enunciate to represent my like loose lifestyle. Ms. Handler, like this unmarried Hillian.
He likes to laugh. Harlot guy, W.
Harlot, yeah.
He makes
Jezebel
laugh.
Yeah, well, you would know, Dana. I mean, you played him for so many years. That's your guy.
You mean Bush Senior?
Oh, right. Didn't you play him too? No, I'm talking about Bush Jr.
You played
I
Bush
played
Jr.
just in my stand-up, but Will Ferrell did him on SNL.
Yeah.
But I played him. Everybody does W. He's a funny character.
My podcast is called Dear Chelsea. People call in for real life advice, and it's. Yeah, so it's not like anything you guys would ever listen to.
You take phone calls from fans and
from real people. No, not fans. People who have fucking problems, and they call in. And I consider myself like a medical doctor. Yeah, I'm pretty smart about giving advice to people. Mm-hmm. I'm really good at it, and I'm really a good like motivator. Like, go get your shit together and make a good life decision. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have a podcast called Dear Chelsea, and I'm really excited, actually, guys, to be spending this. It feels like a Saturday morning today, doesn't it? It's Friday, but it feels like a Saturday morning.
I swear I thought it was Saturday.
This is the earliest we've done one. I don't think we've
ever in history
gone earlier.
Yeah, never.
Okay, well, maybe that explains.
It. I get up early, so I like this.
So do I. I always get up early, wherever I am in the world.
They said you have to be at the Beverly Center at 10, so we'll let you go. I guess
the Beverly Center. I fucking hope not. My God.
That's what they told us. They go,
I fucking hate malls.
I
grew up in New Jersey, as you know, Livingston, New Jersey, which you mentioned previously. And I have had my run and fill of shopping malls. So please don't mention any shopping mall to me again, because I'm wrapped.
Well, where are you going to go to Lady Foot Locker? They just have them on the street.
Well, don't you love food court? Don't you love a good food court, though?
You mean Sbarro? Yes, I do. A&W.
Panda Express.
A&W. Now we're talking, finally.
No, Panda Express. I do not like Panda Express. I would like to put that out there on the record.
Put it out there for future dates.
Spade's going to get a Wendy's hamburger at some point today.
Are you?
I do still eat that once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, I used to like Wendy's chicken nuggets, but that's not chicken, and I had to come to terms with that. Even though they were like my favorite fucking snack, I just had to eventually just be like, what am I putting in my body? I put so many chemicals in it already. Does it really need these chicken nuggets to put me over the top?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't appeal to me.
Chelsea, I think we'll let you go. You did a great job. And I just want to say lastly, you did use the word assuage. Is that what you said earlier?
Assuage.
Assuage. It's great. I wrote it down. Good job.
Okay, great.
I learned one.
I think you learned a few words today, quite frankly.
By the way, when I text, if I ever text you, I have to be less like yo, because I talk like a rapper. So I have to I'll do all the spelling stuff for you.
Okay. Well, don't worry. I don't think anyone's confusing you with a rapper.
Make sure you change that rap after we hang up.
ASAP, Spady.
Yeah, change your rap on your arm.
Chelsea, let's get you choppered out of there. Things aren't going well.
Yeah.
It's been like this, you guys. This is my life for the next week. So it's okay. Don't worry.
Well, you were perfectly charming on here. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you. Nice hanging out. And I don't know who said this to me, but we'll see you around campus.
We'll see you around campus.
Okay, great. Goodbye, Dana, David,
Goodbye,
and Dava.
Chelsea.
Bye, sweetheart.
Goodbye.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman.